once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I just noticed the energy coming out of me. Holy cows, I guess I really am excited to get started again today, man. I am. Blessings and greetings to all of you, all who may tune in and join, whether it's in the live here and now, or you just check in, you tune back in later, or you find it later at some time. Praise God indeed. The day kind of got away from old Jack. I was enjoying the day, really, getting stuff accomplished in my personal adventure, day-to-day routine. Even on the path of enlightenment, you still chop wood, carry water, you still, do the day-to-day human being stuff. But today I made it back home. I got my social stuff posted. I think I got yesterday's stream updated and time to start because I'm scheduled online again a little later. We'll get into some of the promotions again today, but in the background is dude hanging out. The message: rest in God's love, be with nature, be with that which is natural and instantaneous, which is the instant of this present moment. Be with that. From inspired by chat and participants in the live streams, the question was asked: do we have Talcoin yet? So we're having fun with the image, having fun with inspirations. Today, while I was getting stuff done in my day-to-day, my mind was, holy cows. I didn't have my notebook with me, but there was lots of fun thoughts on love today. So truly, the message, I hope, is that even before you tune in, and especially if you haven't found it, I hope you're spending time with love. Sometime today, with love in your mind and in your feeling, and even if it's just momentary and brief, it's important for you to unite with love as often as you can, because love is the true power of healing, of miracles, of transformation. Love is the power that you want to know more of. It's pretty obvious and simple once you stop and think about it, but I have. So if you're willing to trust if you're willing to trust a stranger, because unless you've literally spent time with me, I am a stranger to you. You don't know me. I don't know you. But I have a good idea of who I am. I know me very well. And so if you can trust a stranger to be honest with you, and you can kind of consider my outside perspective. Something I was considering about Jack, right? Me. I'm an ordinary dude, right? It's the average Joe. I fit that. But at the same time, I am not an ordinary dude. I'm from the different background, and I bring with me a different perspective from that different background. And it's different than a lot of the social circles that I find myself entering. But if you consider this just in the greater scope, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense that we can learn the most from strangers, people who are not in our inner circle, but they see our inner circle at work. This was demonstrated to me actually by a pastor long ago. I've mentioned him before. He was an amazing guy and actually showed me what a follower of Christ could be. His compassion, his care, his willingness to be present. It was amazing to me, and it kind of blew me away. But I remember as a pastor, and this in my opinion is what a good leader will do too. He invited me to the church, probably knowing it was good for me because I was an alcoholic. But he invited me to attend his service, but not for a reason other than I was joining as a friend outside of his circle. And so I would go in some aspect, kind of like a mystery shopper, just to go in and evaluate what's a new guy experience when he shows up. And in hindsight, it was a brilliant tactic for him. But he also benefited from the outside perspective of someone who was paying attention and trying to find things that maybe in the day to day were being overlooked. See, increasing our awareness is just simply growing in your knowledge. You want to grow in your knowledge, but you don't grow in your knowledge if you're only focusing on what you think you know. I've experienced this over and over from others, so I have to look at myself. Am I doing this? Am I focusing on what I think I know instead of trying to know more? I am not. I trust what I know. I trust what I've learned, but I also trust there's far more for me to discover. What I was considering in the greater world, right? Because the reason I do these things and the reason I'm inviting you to trust a stranger is because what I think is happening with me is I've been blessed. Education, experience that's been a little bit different than a lot of others. And I'm trying to share what I find to be value. I've spent time listening to just wasting my time, in my opinion, but even through the boring lectures and, hearing the same data over and over in different ways, you pick up different things. This is what I realized. It's that simple, right? Life can be that simple. Stop believing you know everything. Trust that you need greater answers than what you found. Otherwise, you just get comfortable with what is familiar to you, and habits become very familiar. I've been dealing with those sort of things a long time. This is jade. The stone is, and I'm fascinated by stones, minerals, and what Mother Earth has brought. There's so many different perspectives and amazing things that people do with different stones. Yeah, this new jewelry, the new peacocking for me, putting on pretty stuff, trying to get attention, I guess. There's another part of my story, man. Stones and jewelry, it comes in and out of my life at times, it seems. This is what I've considered too, is the energy is generally, right? It's all conceptual, and it's pointing at the potentials of what has been found. And jade's energy generally associated with harmony, balance, prosperity, considered a stone of purity, wisdom, and serenity, promoting emotional healing and inner peace. Wonderful. I used to have books on this sort of thing too. But considering the concepts of the colors, the energy, and the frequency of the colors, and this is science, it's not just woo-woo, but regarding the inner chakra systems, now that I don't know if has ever been truly measured or proven, but I know what I feel. And if the ancient ideas are that the heart chakra is associated with green, then the jade here with the energies of serenity being upon my heart, that's actually something that I had considered as I was choosing to put it on more often. Simon says, people develop a habit of not breaking habits. People get proud of their routines, proud of how long they've done things, the traditions. We, the world, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I prefer diamonds. Diamonds are beautiful too, but they're a crazy racket. You know, you look into the history of De Beers and the diamond industry, the way that corporatism and capitalism has really just, oh my God, the poor people of Africa, the history of what had the exploitation and just the absolute robbery that Western civilization, Europe and America have done. Holy cows, man. Well, that's how they got rich too, the robber barons, from manipulating the value of resources and, you know, and yeah, it's green. I was wearing a bunch of green today, man. Here, I'm gonna drop it up because drop the link because I'm already engaging with conversations. And for those who are available and willing to join, please feel free. I'm feeling good today. Oh, I do not need, I hope and want to promote the future. And in the future, this evening, over with our friend Breakfast Tacos, we are going to have a wonderful conversation with our friend the Powder Dusty, aka Flow State. That's what I've been calling him, but I think he's changing his focus. But he's a man who has educated himself. He spent time in the profession of banking, and we're going to discuss, in my description, we're going to discuss some of the philosophies and facts regarding economics. It'll be fun because he's a pretty good dude. He's very sharp, and hosted over on Real Breakfast Tacos. He's got a lot of experience moderating conversations. We tried having a conversation last night over on Real Breakfast Tacos with our nemesis, I guess, Mr. Snafu. He wanted to use the opportunity to prosecute and convict me publicly, but it wasn't like he was putting on theatrics. And graciously, I got frustrated. I got frustrated with the situation. It was another repeat of my failed attempt to communicate with someone who's really after me. And in my frustration, Breakfast Tacos was gracious enough and kind enough to, shift and change the energies. We ended up just having a real informal conversation that I thought was pretty fun. A lot of people had joined his Discord, and that's what Breakfast Tacos does on his Discord groups. He posts conversations and hosts conversations regarding economics and religion. Perhaps politics, but it's fun. Now, this is where Jack is a little bit different. In the past, I used to really think I was good at debates. I've witnessed people on YouTube, Andrew Wilson, he's Jim Bob, that Jay Dyer character, many of those guys who are on YouTube, outside of this little group, they are very skilled communicators, and Powder Dusty is as well. The difference, though, with me is what I see the egoic doing, right? I view these things and the patterns from the mind of psychology, because through the mind is the gateway to the spirit, to the emotions. Many people are either driven by emotions or they're driven to avoid emotions. And this is why the world is literally insane. The world is nuts. Okay, let me for those who are new here, I point that out, try to drop that seed of thought quite a bit. People are nuts, and here's an example. I'm taking it away from where I was going, and I don't mean to offer confusion. uh, Tonight's conversations, regarding debate and argument. What is different than me is I prefer to have discussions, right? Debate is, bringing different ideas and arguing different sides in order to grow in understanding. But the competitive patterns of America and this society, people like, they literally argue for entertainment. And to me, that's comparable to mental masturbation, right? Little group circles, people getting together, jacking their minds off together, celebrating how smart they think they are and how smart they think they look. I'm guilty of these things too. I mean, hell, I'm online, right? I got my own channel. I got invested in a microphone and a camera and stuff, so I'm guilty of this stuff too. However, brothers and sisters, distrust can be overcome. Honest people and courageous people, they can overcome anything. It's part of the nature of being a human. What I recognized in myself, what I see a lot of other people doing, especially in regards to me, and this is why I started this earlier in today. I encourage you, at least with me, try to trust a stranger. Try to see me as someone who cares and who's not trying to mislead you, right? And I'm not asking for anything. So don't think that I'm just trying to help just so I can get your money or something. That's not either. We live in a world where fear has been enabled and grown. Fear has been proven to be very effective. People trust their distrust. I'm going to say that again. I want you to consider it for yourself. People place trust in their distrust. They feel proud and confident that they distrusted someone. Why? I mean, sure, there's cause and reason with people who are, clearly out of their mind in the moment. But even the insane have times of clarity. And even the devil, even the liar, the greatest liars, they are working with the truth. So if liars can work with truth, you can find the truth with a liar. You just got to realize what you're looking for. And that's what I've been doing. I've been paying attention to what is Jack paying attention to. What is Jack aligning himself with? What is Jack, who is Jack associating himself with? And I'm guilty. I know. I hear my critics and I hear my friends regarding who Jack has been associating with and spending time with, where my energy has been going. But praise God, man. Yesterday, each day, not just yesterday, but each day with me, it feels like I keep learning and growing. And I recognize the outward appearance. It may not look like much. But brothers and sisters, man, this is just it. I did work and I have invested and I did save. And so far, I've been able to afford rent, gas, food, tobacco, car insurance. The majority has been based off my past work and dedication, right? Between the equity of the house, the money I'd put aside in retirement. Otherwise, there has been contributions as well. Every little bit helps. And I've also learned how to be very mindful. I pay attention to where my resources are going. I enjoy conserving. I actually don't eat as much or drive as much. I don't do as much that costs expense. Not anymore. I've been learning, but the possibility is as well, Mark. I've said this for a long time. Clearly, if we want to review me and how I have spent my time. If we want to review me critically, of course, I could have done more. I could have done more for a job or a hustle or sales or all sorts of things. I didn't. And I'm not trying to encourage anyone else to do what I did other than, right, the mindset. But I guess I am the type that I will self-sabotage. I will destroy who I am and what I'm doing to prove I'm right. Especially if I know I'm right. And in some way, I guess that's what I've been doing because I know I'm right. And so I haven't gone out. I know that I have more value to share rather than going and getting a job at any place, right? I have skills that are available. And if I can't find the right existing organization, then I will create it. And so I've been focusing on creating a team. As the team unites, then all the paperwork and crap, it comes together easily. But I've been focused on getting a team. And here's the point, back to God. I think it's very possible that Jack, my life is being used as an example. Okay. It doesn't mean I've got everything figured out. I'm an example of what not to do as well as what to do. The future outcome is where the evidence is really going to become apparent. Because in my opinion, I've got a lot of evidence that tells me I'm on the right path. And it is possible that through me and others, I'm not alone. I'm one of many who God is showing, you seek thee first the kingdom of heaven and God's righteousness, and all else is provided. I've been aligning myself, surrendering myself, consciously seeking to align me with God's kingdom and God's righteousness. I keep my mind and my thoughts on God and love and life. And it feels pretty good. I don't worry as much about money, rent, food. I don't worry about that stuff as much. I was actually even noticing myself. I've been putting off going to the dentist because I noticed some time ago that I've got another cracked tooth. And I still haven't gone to the dentist and I was evaluating this earlier. Why haven't I gone to the dentist? Well, because I don't actually eat very often. And I really just have to pay real close attention to it when I'm eating. So if I don't eat as often and I don't have to pay attention to it as much, then it's not as big of a priority. So life is just a series of, best guesses. Best guesses and choices, but then it all leads us into these different consequences. What the ego does, the mind of today, the common average day man or woman, it wants to deny the consequences, wants to pretend that they have no responsibility for what another person is experiencing. I guess I did that myself in the past. It saddens me. The time I lost when I was a younger man, the time I lost with my son as a father, that was my opportunity. I missed it. And you don't get those times back with your children. And the children and you carry the memories and the relationship with you throughout the rest of your life, maybe beyond. Oh gosh, see, you guys are being wise. I am consciously aware and trying to keep the mouth clean, because you are right. You don't really want to mess around with your dental health, which is another thing that pisses me off about America. Dental, it's so, the entire medical industry, dental, vision, otherwise, it is just, every one of us has to deal with this. Why is it so difficult? Why? Because there's profits to be made. Got to maximize those profits. Got to make a lot of money. Praise God. Brothers and sisters, speaking about that, again, I'll do a little promotion a little bit later today. Make sure and tune in over on Breakfast Tacos. And if you haven't subscribed over there yet, please do. You might enjoy it. But me and Flow State will be discussing economics a little bit later. And I think it is going to be restreamed on my channel too. But, promote the other guy. That's the better way to be. Because I am a man who trusts. My note. People trust their distrust. Why? Why do people trust their distrust? Because, and it ties back to the idea of people focusing on their thoughts, what they think they know. When you focus on what you think you know, whether it's imagined, remembered, assumed, right? You heard someone say something once, so you run with that without actually confirming it. When you focus on what you think you know, you're not open or seeking anything else. This is a path for inner work. Let's take this idea in the inner work path. We live in a world where people think they know. They think they know who they are. They think they know who their spouse is. They think they know who everyone else is because they have a thought and a familiarity with the thoughts of that being. But a fool will ignore what could be learned. But a fool isn't focused on what they can learn. They're usually focused on what they can get, what they can take. And they don't see that they're focused on what they can get or what they can take when they're trying to give. They're trying to give their foolishness to be accepted, to be approved. I'm literally describing people in my experience. Holy cows. People try so hard and yet get in the way so much, and it's by a perfect design. Our God, the Father who sent Jesus to this world, that same intelligence, that same mind sent you and I to the same world for the same reason, similar reason, different time. The similarity between you and me and Jesus is we're here to bring life into this world. And you do, and you are, except when you don't focus on bringing life into the world. You focus on surviving, protecting, fighting for, earning, right? God is that which brings forth life. So align with God. Give yourself permission to renew your life through the grace of God. And if you haven't found the grace of God, seek to know. Ask your higher spirit of consciousness to join you in your effort. Because another thought I had, considering my observations on the world and my memories of me, people, it could be you, could be, well, I've looked already. People in this world, they don't even know they are lost. People don't even know they are confused. And the people who don't even know they're lost, don't even know they're confused, they have no clue how far they have gone. This thought came up with my memory of trying to have a conversation with Snafu again last night. And then watching, just not seeing, but just noticing that it appears there's reviews and I'm sure discussion and lots of other attention being offered to me just by that. Snafu and many others in this experience here with me, you see it. I know there's many people who see it. They see me. And if you're one of those who sees me trying to be kind, trying to be patient, trying to do what's right, if you don't look down on me and you can actually see the value in me, thank you. What you see in me is truly a reflection in you. This is what I've been shown. Each of us has aspects of the divine. We have aspects of holiness. We have aspects of each other inside, right? In our own potentiality, in our own energetic vibration. We possess these traits, personalities, archetypes. Carl Jung, he identified these different energies and patterns as different archetypes. But what I've come to be shown is true. Moment by moment, you are who you are. I am who I am. Who I am is a reflection. It's a reflection of who I was in the past. And if you go back far enough of who I was in the past, you get into my parents, my ancestors, and all of that. But in every one of their lives, in every one of my lives, the reflection of who I am, it is the quality of the environment that I was and my ancestors were. And we live in this vast world that's really kind of small. And there's a lot like us, but there's no one that's duplicated, right? There's a uniqueness to every one of us. My observations on the world, they truly fascinate me. My purpose for this YouTube channel, for what I'm doing here with you, hopefully, I'm hoping that I'm using the technology of today, the tools of today that were not available 2,000 years ago. I'm hoping to use the knowledge that was from 2,000 years ago and earlier. I'm hoping to apply and use this eternal knowledge of unity, of unconditional love, love without excuse, love without reason, just love as commanded by the one who I serve and love, Jesus. People don't even know they're lost or confused. So how do you know? How do you know I would suggest this, considering we live in a world where human beings think it's normal to put people in jails and to pay for wars and to have people sleep in streets and to pay for education. So we live in this world that is not quite as logical, healthy, or sane as most people want to believe. And if you're in America, stop lying to yourself. Stop focusing on the good qualities that you want to see, or stop focusing on only the bad qualities that you want to see. Let's take the good and bad of everything. You, your family, your community, take the good and bad, and I'll take the good and bad with me, my community, my family, and let's see what we can do to raise the standards. You can't control anyone else. You can't tell them to do better. You can't tell them to raise their standards, but each of us can do that for ourselves. And so we'll finally get into kind of the topic of today, I guess. The idea of the topic is let's do more. Let's do more to discover the inner confusion. Let's do more to see if we can get clarity on what we want. Because how do you know if you're lost? Well, do you know where you're going? Do you have clarity in your future? Not a plan. Do you have like this goal that you wake up excited for every single day? Do you have this desire and future that you're working towards that causes you just to stay up late because you're so excited? You don't want to stop working towards that. You don't want to rest. Is that the life you're living? If you're not living that, let's do more. Okay? Let's do more to find a greater purpose. Let's do more to find more excitement. Let's do more to find more let's do more to find more health. Let's do more to find more happiness. It's not going to be found in a bottle. Pills are not the way. Hookers, gambling, sports betting, all of this stuff. It's not the way to happiness. I've tried a lot. I spent a lot of money on a lot of different things. And all I found was misery for myself, shame and guilt, because I knew I could have done better. So if you're willing to learn from a stranger, from a guy like me, and take what you can get, let go of the stuff that doesn't help, of course. But if you can find some value, encouragement, some inspiration for yourself from me, I'm speaking from experience. I didn't know how far I had gone in my alcoholism, in my unhealthy living. I had no clue how bad I had allowed myself to get until I chose to change, until I chose to look. The most important gift you can give your family, your children, for moms and dads, the most important gift you can give them is a close, honest, hard, and compassionate look on yourself. I didn't do that. I made a lot of mistakes. I was rough around the edges. I'm paying the consequences. It's been over 7 years since I've had time with my son. But that brings in a perfect tip as well, right? How do you know what to focus on? How do you know what to put your mind on? How do you know what is best for your attention? If you're not paying attention, if you're not making those choices, then it's likely that habits, routines, addictions, it's likely those things are making your choices for you, or you're just going along doing what anyone tells you to do. Unless you don't want to do that. And then you just do what people tell you that you want to do. I'm describing other people I know too. From here online. Dude, good for you, man. Sorry to jump in on that, old Joe. Good weather, 20 miles biking this morning. Good for you. You're active. Maybe that's false representation. Maybe it's not old Joe and you're like really only just 22 years old or something. I don't know. Holy cows. Hey, we are winners today. I think Jack and Dusty will win tonight. We're both gonna win, and I hope Breakfast Tacos wins some more subscribers, some more support as well. I really do. I hope us all to grow. Oh wow, MCT oil to kick sugar addiction. Interesting. I could imagine how that might make sense. Sugar is probably still one of my weaknesses too. I was thinking about that. That was part of my doings today was some grocery shopping. And while I do limit my choices to plants, no dairy, no meat, no fish, excuse me, I do eat some processed food and I do eat some junk food, cookies and ice cream. Dude, my sweet tooth. But this is what I realized. What if it's possible? This is a possibility for me, and I'm just speaking openly, just for documentation, maybe, and for others who care. I wondered if this could be part of my story, because seriously, when I started this world, I tried to understand, and it was nuts. None of it made sense. What was happening to me and what I saw happening in the home and what I saw happening elsewhere, none of it made sense to me. And then I thought I figured it out, and I knew enough to be angry. And so I started working when I was 13 years old, man. Started earning so I could pay for new school clothes, so I could pay to have the school supplies and to have money to do anything fun. I started working. And living in the country, what are your options? You're not going to go get a job as a stock boy. You're going to go work as a farmhand. You're going to go work out in the woods, moving rocks and hay bales. And so that was the life for me. I learned the value of hard work when I was young. And then I worked hard. I didn't have a lot of support. No one paying for college. I didn't figure out how to apply or how to do a scholarship. And really, the condition for me when I graduated high school was got 2 weeks. 2 weeks out of graduation, and you need to be out of the house. All right. So I joined in the Army, and Mom gave me like an extra month rather than have me move out and then move in with the Army. She let me stay till I deployed. The point is, I worked hard. I grew up fast. I grew up early when I was a kid. I don't really remember the childhood games and stuff. It is what it is. But I know my parents did the best they believed they should. I know that. I know they worked hard and they tried hard. But let me get back to the point, because I was talking about my diet and eating junk food. What I realized is maybe this is my path. I had to grow up early, and then once I found God, this is the path, right? I grew up early. I thought I figured it out, joined the military, got a job, a federal job, putting away the retirement, following the American dream, my version of the American dream. And I was miserable. And then I got tired of being miserable. I got tired of just making it. And I wanted to become successful. I wanted to become more and do more. And along that way, I thought the best way to become more and to be successful, I thought the best outcome could be, because, right, if there is a God, then I probably want to align with that God. If I want to be successful, the best way to be successful would be to align with God's will for me. How do you know God's will for you? I didn't know. I didn't even know why God wanted to keep me alive. It kind of pissed me off that it was still happening. But by God's grace, I got over my bitterness and got over my arrogance, and I started trying to find out, what is God's will for me? What do I do? The lessons I've learned since that time have been so, in my opinion, they've been so transformative. The value internally is just, wow. The lessons I've been learning since I made these choices to change and to try and better understand God and life and me and love and history and I tried to understand everything. God taught me surrender. God taught me gratitude. Gratitude is the path to surrender, and surrender is the way to peace. And once you find peace with the gratitude and the surrender, you find this joy and freedom. And with that joy and this freedom, it's like, maybe excitement, maybe it's hopeful anticipation, maybe it's just, an overwhelming desire to share, right? Because when you're filled with the abundance of joy and freedom and gratitude, which you just did on your own, you just did that on your own, right? Through your mental mindset set. Once you get yourself to that point, you just want to share, you want to serve, you want to share this peace, share this joy. You want to be a blessing because you feel blessed. It starts and ends in the mindset. Brothers and sisters, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. What we're battling against is people's belief systems. These belief systems are what people move by. And every single one of us has these structures of beliefs within us. It's called the ego mind. And it is a devil when it's not noticed. When you're not paying attention to the ego inside, it takes over and it gets loud and it gets cruel and it gets selfish and very devious, very manipulative. I spent a lot of time with that version of me in my past, in this life. You probably would have got along with me because I was very good at getting along with people on the outside. On the inside, I was hurt, I was angry, I was alone. These are the stories I told myself. I didn't trust strangers, I didn't trust friends, I didn't trust family. I'd lost my way. And see, I didn't even know how confused I was. So, brothers and sisters, these are why I share my story, is if you can find any similarities to you, let's admit it together, right? We were out of our minds. When we're focused on despair, when we're focused on failure, when we're focused on pain and lack, we were out of our minds. There's other options for us. Every moment of every day, if you use and recognize the power and gift of your mind, you have the ability to connect your experience mentally. You can connect you to infinite realms, infinite possibilities, infinite dimensions through the mental activity and focus of your mind. But you also need to recognize the other side of that amazing tool. You don't need to do anything. I'm just suggesting, right? I mean, I know people get resistant. Don't you tell me what I need to do. I don't like it either. if you're going, while observing your mind, I encourage you, consider the power you possess. Through that ability of focus, not only are you bringing a connection between you and the focus, the object of your attention, you're creating this mental, spiritual, energetic bond between you. As you focus on something else, you can literally, where did this note go? Oh yeah. Each of us has the capacity. We can literally feel comfortable or uncomfortable simply by what you focus your mind on. You focus your mind on something you think you know, and the result of that energetic connection, the mental connection, you can feel good or bad. I could probably benefit with giving some examples of this, but it's really take any memory from the past, good or bad. Recognize that you focus your mind on that good or bad memory, and you start finding these feelings that are associated with the connection to that memory. So people in this day, the way we're designed to really get comfortable with anything. I mean, that's why Donald Trump, that's why we have the billionaire class and the poverty class and all the different wars and different groups. People will get comfortable with anything. They find comfort with familiarity. Okay? That's how these prisons and routines. These comfort zones are created that become prisons. And there's a lot of people who are just content in their comfortableness in America, because I guess they're somehow detached from the innocent men and women who are being targeted and hunted as they go and try and get food supply in Palestine. I mean, there's some sick things happening in this world. And I encourage anyone who's comfortable, right? If you're tuning in and you're comfortable, that's good. Receive your blessings, receive your gratitude, receive my congratulations, but let's do more. That's the topic today. Let's do more. Let's do more for ourselves. Let's do more for our family, do more for our community, do more for our world. Let's do more for someone else's family. Let's do more for someone else's community. Let's do more has been, to me, it's one of the no-brainer. How else do you grow? The universe does more. The universe says, let's do more. God, the creator, says, let's create. Let's do more. Align with the universe. Align with the creative aspects of you and do more in the name of goodness. For those who have found their way to call yourself Christian, do more in the name of Jesus. Go give and serve and introduce yourself. I'm a messenger for the love of Jesus. How may I serve you? I have, in my own ways, I have said these things and done these things, because I believe this is what we're here to do. We are here to follow in the way of Jesus, to love. Not to judge, not to condemn, not even to oppose, but to love. And love is challenging. Love is tough. Love can hurt, particularly the timid. But something I considered earlier yesterday, so simple and obvious, watch for patterns. You can see patterns in others. Watch for the pattern in yourself. You may find it there too. Good things confuse the corrupted. I'll say it again. Good things confuse the corrupted. Those who are corrupted inside, they see something good. They don't understand that. That's not right. There's got to be something wrong with that. And then they even oppose the good thing. In the greatest scenario, right? The story of Lucifer in the heavens. He became corrupted. He was confused by God's goodness, by his own purpose. You see how many people in this world are doing the same thing? They're confused about their purpose. They think their purpose is to go harm, control, murder, right? Just destroy someone else. You've heard people admit that online. If you've been paying attention to me, you've heard people admit that about me. They think their purpose is to destroy a man like me. That's what Snafu said he was doing last night. I suggest that's kind of a tragedy. Because something else I realized, it's up to each of us. It's up to each of us to reclaim our happiness. Don't lie to yourself and say it's never been there. Don't lie to yourself and say it's not there. It's somewhere else. It was with them. My happiness was with them. And so now they're gone and I can never feel happy again. Not true. Not true at all. See, the people that are confused, they say a lot of things. They don't make sense. And the confused actually say a lot of things and they don't even listen to themselves. I think that's why people get confused, is they realize that people around them aren't listening. So they They convince themselves of things, and then they just say things that really are irrelevant, and they fit right in. They fit right in when they go around saying irrelevant things. Daisy, I love you, sister. Praise God. Hey, Arpol, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Thoughts on thinking. Blessings to you. If that's true. Thank you for popping through. What's going on here? It's a great question. Admittedly, I think it's been a while since you swung through, and when people swing through, they find a lot of chaos, and I guess that's what I've been doing, is entertaining chaos. However, things are changing, and my topic today, let's do more, brother. I tell you what, Thoughts on Thinking is a channel I am very impressed with. The mind and the intelligence that's available, not just on this channel, but on many channels. Here, there's a lot of amazing young people here in this world right now, gifted minds, right? Not just gifted minds, but they've got this feeling and purpose to know and to share. I'm not a young dude anymore. I'm getting a little older. I recognize that, but I'm so excited and filled with faith about some of the youth I've seen. The world we are living in today, it's at a time, brothers and sisters, I hope you can find excitement for your life, because the more people who feel excited about life, guess what? The better chance we've got of uniting and making an exciting life for everybody. And my goal is, Daisy, you're included in this, Daisy. I love you all. There are many people who found their way into this Jack Talcott experience as viewers, as subscribers, as participants with me online and offline. My heart is grateful for every single one who I've had the opportunity to, communicate with and to have some sort of inner exchange in this personal experience of life. I want to thank so many of you who are a part of this, and there's so many others. Oh, you've been betting against the wrong man. Daisy, this whole world is going to transform around you. And many of you others, many of you others, many of you others are going to be so shocked when you finally wake up and realize what is happening in this world. Televised apocalypse. Jack loves me so much he's called me cuss words every time I criticize him being a Christian. That's possible, but it sounds to me like an exaggeration, because I don't cuss at everyone who criticizes me. And there's a lot of people who say I react one way for one reason, but they don't really think about what I'm saying. I dropped a link for that channel, Thoughts on Thinking. That's not where I will be tonight, Daisy, but that is a channel that they produce and share some incredible thoughts on thinking. Which, sister, we can all use some help. All of us can benefit from learning different strategies, different ways that others think. It can help us develop in our own way. But how I was thinking wasn't really a thought, okay? This is challenging. Talking about thoughts is, what are you pointing at? I hadn't given much thought in my past, particularly when I was dealing with alcoholism, when I was so focused on work and my job and the bills and everything else. I wasn't focused on the patterns of my thought. I wasn't giving much thought to how I was thinking. I was focused on what I was thinking. So I thought. But really, what I was doing was I was avoiding how I felt. I was avoiding how I felt by not addressing the thoughts and not addressing how I was spending my time. Hey, you know what? I just looked, and I don't mean to jump in, but congratulations, my friend. You can go without it. You can do anything you want, Daisy. And I hope you feel better too. In the description, Daisy, in the description of the video, if you do the more and drop it down, about halfway down is the link for, you know what? Here, why don't I just do that? Whoa, it's not available. Okay, maybe it's not. I want to get back to this. Thank you. Thank you, Art Pole, Sammy, all of you. Um, this life we're living. We're at 7:30, scheduled in an hour and a half. So I still have time. I do want to be able to step away for a little bit, but I did want to share some of these ideas, some of the updates of what I've been doing, what I've been feeling today. Because really, all day, man, all day I've been feeling so good. And I'm not bragging, and I'm not insane. It's remarkable that it's remarkably obvious when you look at what I've been facing. People like the character Snafu or some of the other characters who've chosen to really come out publicly against me. They've clearly not considered or shown any care for how I feel as a human. Right. And I realize, you hear a lot of people on YouTube say this stuff too. Well, it's not anyone's fault how someone feels, right? Words are just words. Okay, that's partially true, but words create magic. Words create spells. Words create relationships. Words create truth. Words create lies. Truth and lies are very important. Lies, not as much, but it's important for you, whoever you are, to develop your own ability, okay, to figure out what is true, what is a lie, what are the consequences if you are wrong. That's something to be aware of too. What are the consequences if you accuse someone wrongly? um, Blessings to you, Golden Renaissance. Oh, goodness. Hey, good for you, Daisy. 7 days without drinking. Congrats. Yeah, there's many people who, in my personal experience, I am confident they will be realizing their lack of accountability to words. I mean, here, this is kind of biblical too. And last night was the idea I could have been better prepared and done a stronger job of representing the scripture in my self-defense. That the topic last night, for those who missed it, was, is Jack Talcott a false prophet? I believe the accuser revealed himself as that which he claims, but we didn't make it through it all. Where was I going with that? There was something to the lesson there. What? I don't know. Unless is there any, while I'm here and paying attention, are there any questions or ideas from the chat? I do realize my choice is to entertain the chaotic here, it has limited the participation of people who could probably benefit from healthy conversations. And actually, healthy conversations, those are my favorites. I really don't like, I really don't enjoy the juvenile, egoic games of insults and over speaking and trying to trip people up. It's not as fun. Is it the link here? The StreamYard or the other one? StreamYard seems to be working. Yeah. I'm assuming you mean the flow state one. Is that right? Here. Do this. Sorry for the, you know what? Sorry for the delay. I could have done this long ago. Tonight's at there you go. Put that in there because it is possible the link may be broken. I'll fix it as soon as I finish it up. I'm confident. And yes, I actually do. I have faith that this will be a fun conversation. He's sharp. He's got a real sharp mind. He is very good at sticking to the topic, and he probably avoids ad hominems better than I do. Even I've admired his ability to communicate. That's what I mean. The topic will be discussed. Yes, and last night, I mean, in Snafu's defense, he was discussing the topic, but he was not allowing any participation from anyone else. And that's not what I agreed to. Oh, really? All right. Well, you know, I will just read the signs for what they are. And there's nothing wrong with me just doing a short stream. I mean, for those of you who do tune in, thank you, right? it's my hope. It is my hope that there are those who tune in. I know there are. I've received the messages, I've received the feedback, and I do. The people pleaser in me, I love knowing that I'm appreciated. I love knowing I'm valued. And so if I want to feel valued or appreciated, well, then I know I need to do something. I need to do something to show. I need to create the evidence. Oh, this is a lesson I've learned. It's so simple and obvious. You want to be honest. You want to be truthful. It's up to you. Keep track of the evidence. Okay, and if you say you're going to do something, it's up to you to prove that you're reliable. Prove that you're one who shares the truth. It's up to you to follow through with your words. But if you're not listening to your words, if you're never stopping to think about what you said to another and the consequences of what you said, or the consequences of what you said being inaccurate or wrong. I mean, personally, I don't know about anyone else, but I get really frustrated when I trust someone. They say, yeah, I'll do this, or I'll call you, or I'll do this. Hey, I trust them. All right, I don't need to trust that. I'll just deal with it, at that time. And then they don't follow through. And then they don't explain, they don't recognize. And then the next time they follow through, or they might just give an excuse. Oh, this came up. Yeah, great. Okay, great for you. But what about what I wanted? See, if this makes sense, right? The pattern of dealing with selfish people who don't follow through, who don't recognize that they were being trusted. Maybe they were being counted on. This is why OTW and I recently parted ways. He was showing me that himself. And I think, actually, maybe that's what I'll do. Because right before I started, I saw that he was already going, and our friend Polly Boy was already going. And OTW, it seems, was reviewing the conversation from me and Snafu last night. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see. Uh, but then again, I also have no need. I have no need for liars. Brown's boy, why do you play that role? Why do you do what you do? It seems to me you don't think your thoughts through. You don't think about what you're doing. You're better than that, Brown's boy. Um, now you go. Uh, I'm going to, I think, wrap it up from here. I'm feeling like this is a good flow, a good time. Some of the notes I went through, I got what I wanted to get out, I think. Really, the reminder, this was a topic yesterday, but it's true. Take God seriously. Take the unknown seriously. Take the source of knowledge seriously. Every single person, every single moment, if you look at it this way, every single moment from your experience, from your perception and awareness, every single moment is the source of information for you to pay attention to. We know God through time. God was there at the beginning, God's there at the end. God is in the present, here and with us now. And I know God to be the light and the life and the truth and the love, because that's what I've learned is true, is this moment. This moment and this breath starts the rest of our lives. We don't know where that's going to take us. We don't know when that will end. We don't know when others around us will be done either. So while you can, I encourage you. The topic today, let's do more. It's up to you what you want to do more of, but realize what you pay attention to, what you focus your mind on, that is where you will likely get more. So if you got more problems, if you focus on problems, you probably find more problems. You focus on betrayal, you probably find more betrayal. Sadness, sadness. Joy, joy. You look for opportunities. Imagine what you might discover. You look for miracles, not counting on them, but counting on knowing that they exist and that they're available for anyone who has faith. Anyone who walks with love has a greater opportunity of witnessing and experiencing miracles, as opposed to one who walks with anger and despair. Because anger and despair is going to create this cloud, this darkness, and it will weigh down. And even if there's miracles right there, you become cognitively blind to them. So what I found is the path to open my mind, to heal my heart. The power had been given to me. The power to feel broken had been given to me. The power to feel healed had been given to me. And I didn't know how much power the creative source and force of life, I didn't know how much power God had given me. I still don't. I still hope to discover. I still hope to grow in the power that God, grow in my knowing, grow in my awareness of the power that God has given to me, because I've learned the power to change my mind, to redirect my mind, to refocus my mind, so that rather than focusing on, rather than feeling uncomfortable with what I think I know, I train and focus my mind to feel comfortable with everything I know. Everything I know, including the dark, the scary, the hateful, the painful. You can You can get comfortable with everything you know once you realize you're greater than what you know, and yet you're limited by what you know. So when you figure out that paradox and solve that puzzle for yourself, you move beyond the limits of the old you, and you tap into the greater version of what you might realize. I hope this makes sense. I'm going to wrap it up here before I stop making sense, just in case I do still make sense. If you're following along with me and you get me and my humor, hey, you know what? Let me not disrespect the host of our show, Breakfast Tacos. We will be crossing paths and seeing you soon. As a matter of fact, while the stream is not set to start right away, I've got this stream set to redirect over there. So if you stick around just a minute after the ending credits, you will land there. You can hit the notification, the subscribe, and you can be ready to catch us just over an hour from now. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Let's do more. Peace.